going back to AOC's speech here, when I see it, I mentioned earlier, this is why she is as deeply unpopular as she is. But when you see the moves that AOC make over and over again, it's almost unbelievable how incompetent she and her team is. And I want to share this take by Glenn because I think this is very interesting, and it also describes the mindset behind the professional managerial class. Because Glenn commented on this, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I think he made
I think I saw this.
It makes a very interesting point. It makes a very interesting point because I was joking with Glenn. I was saying AOC's advisors secretly hate her. Is the only explanation I have for how incompetent this is, right? Like even if you're accomplishing what AOC is trying to accomplish, of being a Democratic Party operative, right? Of keeping the Overton window to the right. That is what AOC is doing. Like this speech does nothing to advance her cause. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, even with you being a sellout, this makes it harder for you to sell out because people are like, oh shit, she full of shit. I guess. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on with LC advisory team? But Glenn makes a good point here in response to me. And it shows how civility politics and this false decorum allows the boutique left, the professional managerial left, to be ineffective. This is a great point by Glenn. He said it could be that they secretly hate her, or it could be fear. Nobody around her had the courage to say, it's not really a good idea for you to just suddenly adopt this manner of speech out of nowhere. It could be a bit cringe, maybe a bit offensive to some, tad of offensive to some. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because if you had anyone on AOC's team that looked at AOC and like, hey, yo, this shit is fucking cringe. What the fuck y'all doing? Then they be, oh my God, you're being uncivil. Oh my God, you being divisive here. You guys see how there's this culture of where no one questions AOC, no one questions the people on the top, the professional managerial class to the core believes in a top-down model. So the people on the AOC team, they were scared to question this shit. Because maybe if you question, they may lose your job. Maybe awkward in your social setting. This shows how ineffective PMCs are because everything about civility to them. Everything's about decorum to them. Because it makes no sense that no one will pull to your side like, yo, this speech is horrific, son. This is doing you no favors. And I don't know if you saw, CJ, every single right-wing media outlet is playing this speech. They're like, you see AOC, all the right-wing outlets like, look at AOC, look at this dumbass. Look at this dumbass. Imagine being such a non-threat that your opposition shows footage of you speaking. Because they know it will make your opposition look bad. Were they doing that to Malcolm X? No, they would have to shut these people up.
Because of what he's saying.
They had to censor Putin. They'll show you Putin's speeches because he may win people over. You may hear his point of view. The right wing fucking put a spotlight on AOC as much as they can because she's the dumb left. The same way they put the Mickey Contz on Fox News. Hey guys, look how dumb the left is. Look at AOC, she's the leftist. The Mickey Contz, she's the leftist. You guys see why it's important to call this out?
They literally label them like Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
like radicals. But Nick, I found the clip. I'm sorry to cut you off, but go ahead, read that comment if you wanted to.
I found the clip. AOC getting roasted, that's all. By everybody.
Yeah, I found the clip. So I do, because I think this is important for this segment to have this in here, because it's such a direct, almost like he could be talking about AOC in the especially in the second part of this 2 minutes here. So let's listen.
So socialism basically can be thought of as saying, we want to take the promise that liberals made, that Kant made, and that Hegel made, and we want to make it real. Now, the liberalism that you talk about, Michael, when you say there's a lot of liberalism within the left today, I would not call it that. So the identitarian stuff that you talk about, the narrowness, that is not an ideological hangover of liberalism. That is a very, very active set of people pushing their material interests. Right. The left in the United States is fundamentally and overwhelmingly a middle-class formation. It's the first left globally, historically, that has no connection to the working, to the poor at all. People.
Okay, I had to pause it there because it has no connection whatsoever to the working class. Think about that, everybody in the audience. Think about that. No connection. There's a left that has defined itself as the left without any connection to the working class. This is why you can be called a leftist. Medicare for all, $15 minimum wage. Give me my Malcolm X stamp, please. It is specifically for this reason. It's like a redefinition of the left that excludes imperialism, that excludes war, that excludes all of these things. This is why you can be nuanced on war. Anti-war, yes, and I'm down with sending $100 billion to Ukraine, and I'm called anti-war. Like, it's that sort of thing because there's no connection to the working class, to the poor. Let me finish this out, and then we can kind of finish.
People complain that the left is white. Bullshit. That's a second. The left has those non-whites who are in the American left are all middle class too. It's disproportionately white, but it's all middle class.
Now listen to this part coming up.
In that setting, when you're only bringing in middle class people into your organization, a big chunk of them are going to say, we don't want to hear about poverty. We don't want to hear about the economy. What we want to know is, when we walk into a room, why are we not treated well? When we apply for the salaried positions at six-figure
committee seat,
we have the right to, why do we get 5% less than the other guys? Middle class on the left wants to hear about it. It will dress it up in all sorts of historically powerful language and all that.
Isn't that what exactly? I forgot about this part. It will dress it up, Nick, and all sort of historical. Isn't that identical to what AOC is doing here by using that Black Baptist sort of teacher style of speak? That is exactly what she's doing. And in her speech, she connects the Muslim struggle of regular Muslims who are really getting destroyed with racism from both parties. And she tries to connect that somehow to these well-off freaking PMCs who are getting paid six-figure salaries with all of these perks and the best healthcare on the planet.
Yep. And you know, I always said the main grievance they have is how they treat them within the professional managerial class of professions. That's the same way that's the same reason why we was repulsed when we heard Marianne Williamson answer regarding third party, which is it's all depending how they treat me. You see how it's all about how they are treated within the upper level of society and the capitalist structure. So Marianne Williamson has no intention on running third party as long as the ruling class is nice to her in the process. It doesn't matter that they implement brutal policies, which is the reason why you should go third party to be willing to call these people out. Nope, only that matters if you're nice to me, right? But go ahead, we can continue the clips.
Yeah, it's at the end. I think it has a couple seconds left. Let's see.
But Adolf Reed has been saying this for a while, and it's only because he's in America that people think this is controversial. In the rest of the world, what Adolf says is just common sense, which is this is a form of nationalist politics. And all nationalist politics has one or the other class character. Either it's a nationalism that's wrapped around the needs of the poor, or it's a nationalism that's wrapped around the needs of the aspiring, emerging elite within the dominant.
Now, is the left nationalism wrapped around the needs of the poor, Nick, or is it wrapped around the needs of the aspiring elite? I mean, I know the answer, but it's glaring to me, and I can bring it down now. But this is, to me, like, I play this clip. We play this clip all the time. I've even seen you play it without me being here, but we listen and play this clip all the time. But to actually see a real live, real-time example to fit perfectly in some of the key points he makes here, like from people they like. This is Michael Brooks. This is why I played his clip. This is their people making the point about the nonsense that they're now trying to cheer on. And David Dole is cheering this on. You said you saw Humanist Report. I haven't seen it yet. But David Doe has a video.
Apparently, I saw a comment here that said, they
the
love
title
it.
The title of his, Nick, is AOC rips the Senate or murders the Senate or something like that. I'm like, what?
Who did that?
Yes, Rational National.
Oh, fucking course.
Yes.
What? Like,
we're watching the same thing. We're watching the same thing.
There is no way you watch that and conclude that AOC comes out well unless you are a rank propagandist. You have to be the propagandist with zero shame to find a way to spin that for AOC. She getting ripped to shreds. And to my point earlier, like, you don't see the United States is playing clips of Putin, right? You don't see the Republic. Do you see Republican playing clips of Malcolm X? Like, oh my, look at this ridiculous shit this nigga said. Or I don't have to go back far. Do you see them pulling clips of Maury Kimberly? Do you see Republicans them pulling clips of Glenn Ford, Gerald Horn? No. They do their best to avoid showing what a real socialist and leftist looks like. But the right can't wait to show y'all some AOC because she makes the left look dumb. But David Doe's like, this is great. This is great red blue shit.
That's the title. AOC ripped GOP
apart. There is no way. There is no way.
Oh God, Nick, I don't know.
Living in a different universe. Living in a completely different universe. These professional managerial class people are. For one, this guy lives in Canada, pretty wealthy, and this guy talking about AOC saying AOC killed it. This is the high level political analysis that you've been getting from the boutique left for the last few years before RBN. And these are the people that will tell you that Jimmy Dore sold out. They are bootlicking politicians, but then they will say someone else who call out the members of the ruling class, they will call them right wing. No critique of Ilhan Omar voting in favor of muddying the waters on what it means to be anti-Semitic. No comment at all on that, apparently. No comment on their strategy, despite them wedging on Israel, because they wanted to avoid the anti-Semitism thing. That's why they voted for, that's why they came out against BDS, that's why they started voting for Iron Domes, because they wanted to blunt the attack that came from the right that was calling them anti-Semitic. And then they still kicked her off committee seats. No analysis over that. No,
so nothing from him. Nothing from Humanist Report, and he does point out how Hakeem Jeffries voted against the socialist. We'll get to that. We'll get to that one in a second. But so no, it's not. Nobody else said anything about the AOC thing.
Yeah, I can't stress enough. These people
hopped on that shit.
Yeah, I can't stress enough. These people are poison to the left. Absolutely poison to the left, and this is why the working class has been led off the cliff. The fact that people will listen to the Majority Report, David Doe and Mike Figueroa for years without any counter, and you guys wonder why Bernie lost twice. You guys wonder why homelessness at a record level. You guys wonder why Medicare for all is further away than it's ever been. It's because these people are morons who run their movement based on vibes and led this movement off a cliff.